We're just outside the glebe where I was born and where I grew up. It's great to bring Maya here. We've been walking over the beach. The memories are so clear. I can clearly remember when we got electricity. I think I was 8, and we were so modern then. You know, it's 52 years since I left here, got married and left. So a lot of changes in that time. I got this belt when I was your age. Oh. And I think it's obvious I've used it since. Shetland knitters never lose their belts. This is my latest crofter's cap. I was honoured to be asked to be patron last year, little knowing it would last 2 years. My first job was to design hats from the different manufacturers of yarn. And of course that's a job I enjoy. Last year I named it Katie's Cap. Katie was my mother and taught me to knit. And then for this year's cap, I called it the Crofter's Cap because my father being a crofter, he was so enthusiastic. He did have plenty of sheep in the hills, but his main interest was to keep the Shetland cattle breed alive because at that time people were starting to get bigger kye to make a bit more money, but he knew that the Shetland coo was right for the environment and the terrain. Knitting was so important in this house because my mother was a very keen knitter. She taught me, of course, and I can clearly remember other ladies coming along to knit in the winter evenings. There was so much fun and laughter and home bakes and the gossip. Then they always discussed where to sell their knitting. At that time, everyone would knit maybe a dozen pair of gloves and then they would go to the town to Lerwick to sell. They were never too busy to teach bairns to knit.
Well, I was 7 when Granny learnt me how to mak, and with the Peerie Makkers at school, then I just kind of expanded on that with Granny teaching me again.
Well, my passion really is to be able to pass on the joy of knitting to everyone. I'm a tutor in the Peerie Makkers. We go into the schools and teach bairns to knit. Of course, I have many grandchildren, and my eldest granddaughter has her own business now. I think Maya has shown great signs of being a knitter.
She does so much and she goes so many different places in the world to show folk what she does, and I think that's so cool. She travels everywhere and I want to do that.
Contrast and blending is my 2 most popular words I use. You need contrast to show up the pattern. And then in Shetland we speak about blending, which is putting the colours together so that there's no one colour more prominent than the other. But having said that, we always look for an interesting colour to bring life to our pattern, maybe used sparingly in a centre row. I never know when inspiration will hit me. I think my seaweed colours is quite well known now, and that was just a chance walk on a beach and just a snap of a piece of seaweed. You can't just walk around and never see the detail of things.
Yeah.
See, Maya, the fence and the water and the banks.
You've got the bright green of the seaweed. Mm-hmm.
I always seem to be looking for colours and imagining the next fair isle pattern. This could be something to inspire you.